Welcome to Everyday Flutter. Today's Flutter recipe is about how we upgrade our Flutter SDK. As a developer, you have to make sure that your SDK on your development machine is up to date. And there are many reasons why you need to make sure that your development environment is up to date with the latest Flutter SDK. What we have here is a new Flutter project and it is running. Before you talk about upgrading your Flutter environment, the first thing is to figure out what is the version of the Flutter SDK you have running on your machine. To find out what version of Flutter you have running on your machine, we can use Flutter commands to find that out. We have our command line client open here to figure out what is the version of Flutter you have running on your machine. You use Flutter -- version. This will give you the version of Flutter that you have running on your machine. For this machine, we have Flutter 3.13.0 version running. There are times that when your Flutter need to be updated, you will get this message asking you to upgrade your Flutter. What if you do not get that message? So how do you know if there's a need for you to upgrade your Flutter SDK on your machine? To find out that, you can go to the Flutter website at flutter.dev and you open the documentation and you come to SDK. So today, the most recent stable version of Flutter is 3.13.9, but I have 3.13.0. So my Flutter needs to be upgraded. But yeah, we have different channels. So how do you figure out which channel of the Flutter SDK you have running on your machine? To do that, you use Flutter channel. So when you run the command Flutter channel, you see we have 4 channels in the response here. But you will know which Flutter you are running with the asterisk. The asterisk will show you that you are currently running, like me, I'm currently running the stable version on my machine. But you also have the option to switch between these channels. For example, what if I want to now use the beta channel? I can just say Flutter channel followed by the name of the channel you want to switch to. I'm going to use beta. Now when you do that, just give it some time and the switch will take place. Now as you can see, the switching is done. Now if we run Flutter channel, so let's clear the screen and run Flutter channel again. Now we're now on the beta branch because we switched. Now we are back to the stable branch as our default SDK that is on this machine that we are developing with. There are 4 channels. Basically, the master channel is the main channel that all of the latest and new development is going on, where people are making contributions and all of that. The main channel is the latest development branch that comes after the master channel. Now, the beta channel is the channel with the latest stable release. That is all of the most recent version of Flutter that have been heavily tested is on the beta branch. And this is updated monthly. Then we have the stable branch. The stable branch is the branch that is recommended for you to use in your production development when you are developing for production. This is the branch that you need to use. It has the most recent and tested beta releases. So this is the branch that is on my machine. So we're going to run flutter dash dash version, and the latest version is 3.13.9, and we're going to run flutter upgrade, and we get this message on new flutter tag. So what we need to do is to switch to the directory that we have our flutter installed in. So in that directory we are going to run git fetch, and after running that command we're going to run the flutter upgrade command again. Now the upgrade is completed. Flutter is running the flutter adapter command, so this ensures that the upgrade was done correctly and everything has been set up properly. So let's wait until this flutter adapter command is completed. Now the flutter adapter command has completed executing. We see that this report tells us that everything so far is okay. So it tells us that with Xcode this need to be done, but for Chrome, Android Studio, VS Code, connected device, those that are connected right now, network resources, and everything is okay. Everything passed with a check. Only one issue was found, and this is it. So if you are upgrading on your machine and the report come up with this, you can go ahead and fix that. So basically, that's how you upgrade. If we just run Flutter version again, let me just we have 3.13.9, the latest version of Flutter on our machine. So that's how you upgrade your Flutter SDK on your machine. What if you are running your project? How do we upgrade our packages we have in our project? Maybe you have app that you have been developing, you have added external packages to your app, and you now realize that some of those packages needs to be updated. How do you do that? We have this default Flutter project that we have created, and let's just run it. We have this new project that we created in Flutter running. So how do we upgrade our packages that we have added to our project? Maybe you start developing a project 1 year ago or 3 months ago, and packages you use in that project version have changed, and you want to upgrade or update all of those packages. How do we do that? So for example, we have this pub spec file with this Google font. The current version of Google font is 6 1.0. But let's assume that this is your app and all of your dependencies or most of your dependencies now have older version. So how do you go about updating all of your dependencies that you have in your application? So let's open a terminal here. And what we need to do is, how do you know if you have all dependencies used in your application? So to do that, you run a Flutter command called Flutter pop outdated, and we're going to run that. This is going to go through our application, all of the dependencies we have in our pop spec file, and it's going to show us all of them that are outdated. So here you have the Flutter font. This is the current version of the font we have in our pop spec or used in our application, and this is the latest version. If you want to update all of these to the latest compatible version, you can run um, Flutter pop upgrade. So you run that. Now it tells you that it gave you a list of all of the packages that have been resolved and the available versions. So let's open our pop. Now, even though we have run Flutter pop upgrade and we got this list of dependencies and we have shown the available latest version of them, but our Google font package is still not updated because this version is compatible with this version of Flutter that we are using. If it was incompatible with this version of Flutter, then the update would have occurred. But if you want to upgrade your packages to the latest possible release, that's where you have to run a slightly different command. So back in our terminal, let's clear. So we're going to run Flutter pop upgrade dash dash major versions. And this will resolve dependencies and it gives you the result and it indicates those ones that were changed. So if you open our pop file again, we'll find out that our Flutter font has been upgraded to the latest possible version. Flutter pop upgrade will upgrade all of your dependency to the latest compatible version of the Flutter SDK you have on your machine. Flutter pop upgrade dash dash major version will upgrade all of the packages that you have installed in your application to their latest, most recent version without taking into consideration if they are compatible with the SDK, with the Flutter SDK you have installed on your computer. So that is the difference between the two. Basically, that's how you upgrade all of the packages you have in your application that you have in your PubSpec.yaml file. Please subscribe, like, or share this tutorial. Thank you so much for the time.